Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Great to have you with us. I think we need to start with Katy Perry. Because that's a whole narrative now that it's not just a riot going on. They're not just trying to stop deportations. There is a certain element of radicals that, again, and they've done this in the past. They're trying to win back California or whatever for Mexico. They're trying to say it belongs to Mexico in the first place. She talked about the original name of the city of Los Angeles to suggest that the protests were all justified. She said Los Angeles, a place that literally began as El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Porciuncula, or something to that effect.
No, you nailed it, man.
Founded by Mexican settlers in 1781. This was once Mexican land, and the people being targeted today are often descendants of those who have lived here for generations or who came seeking safety, work, dignity. It's more than frustrating. It's deep injustice. How can a city built on Mexican labor, Mexican history, and Mexican culture turn around and criminalize the very people who shaped it? Well, because that's not what happened there, Puddin'. That's not history. What is history, of course, is that not only was Mexico Spanish territory for almost 400 years, but in the case of Texas, it was only ever Mexican territory for 15 years. In California, it was under 30 years of Mexican rule. Spain had it before that. Second, not only did we gain that territory through a very legitimate war, the way virtually every nation on this planet has gained the territory they now have, but they attacked us repeatedly across the Texas border until President Polk finally said, okay, let's end this nonsense. Send the troops in. And when that happened, we routed their military so completely that we pushed them all the way back past Mexico City. We drove all the way through their nation and took their capital city. And then, of course, out of the goodness of our American hearts, we gave them back all the Mexican territory from Mexico City all the way to the border, the current border with the United States. And we threw in an extra $15 million for the land on top of it.
Exactly.
We didn't have to do that.
Right.
We just kicked the rectal cavities all the way back to almost Colombia. We didn't have to pay them.
Right.
So listen, if Mexicans want to cancel the Treaty of Guadalupe that ended the Mexican-American War, they don't get Texas and California back. We get Mexico back all the way to Mexico City. Not that we want it. And the $15 million they'd have to pay us back with inflation would be $615 million now. So be careful what you wish for. And the third thing about this preposterous statement from a mind-numbingly stupid dope of a celebrity, you want to give Mexico even more territory than they already have screwed up? Really? They can't even drink their own water or flush their own toilets or keep tens of millions of their own citizens from escaping to the beacon of hope that's just to the north of them. Murderous, evil criminals run their country, kill their musicians and politicians by the hundreds, and distribute poison to the rest of the world. I mean, it's a country that has more murders every year in sheer numbers of murders than we do, with 1/3 the population. Over 36% of the Mexican population is in poverty. 36%. And you want to make the case that they should also be in control of double the land mass that they currently have? Wow. Yeah, I love it when Americans spew this line of sheer, unadulterated ignorance and wildly un-American revolutionary Marxist rhetoric. So please, Katy Perry, sit this one out, would you please? You should be thinking about giving us some more socially impactful lyrics in your songs. Like, do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again?
Wait.
Powerful.
Sure.
Brilliant.
Stuff.
Brilliant.
Yeah, really
Yeah, and it's rare that you hear an astronaut speak out like that.
Thank you. Thank
You
you,
know what I'm saying?
Keith. Because she is an astronaut.
Right, that's
Yeah.
right.
And
For 4 minutes.
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
For 4 minutes, she was in space.
yeah. But she was off the ground for like a full 11.
That's true.
So, but yeah,
That is true.
Plus, also remember, she kissed a girl, and she liked
She
it.
liked it. Yeah.
So, would you say that Katy Perry could, quote, stick that up her rectal cavity, end quote?
I would say that
I think some people are
Katy
wondering,
Perry should
you got close to that.
stick that upper rectal cavity.
All right.
Yeah. The entire theory. You can stick it right there.
All of it?
Yeah, all of it.
Wow.
I mean, that's the thing.
All of it.
Not only did we beat Mexico's ass, but then we gave them $15 million. I mean, quite a bargain, man. We
No
should,
kidding.
I mean, land used to be cheap.
Yeah. Yes.
California, so parts of these states, California, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Wyoming.
Right.
I
That's
mean,
a lot
that's
of territory.
You can't get land that cheap anymore.
No, but we didn't have to give them a penny.
Exactly. We've been generous forever
Yeah. Didn't have to give them a penny.
when we didn't have to be.
And why is it we're the only ones that continually, well, us and Israel, are the only nations on earth that continually have to go through this occupation bull crap? Are you kidding me? Jeez, look at the nations that occupy territory all over the world. Almost all of them have done it at one point and are still doing it. Man. By the way, are these the very people that settled Mexico in the first place? I thought those were the Mayans and Aztecs and the Incas. Where are they? Are they in control of that nation now?
Well, history of territories always stops when the U.S. claimed those lands.
Isn't that the truth? I mean, that is true. It's despicable that we have to put up with this all the time. It's hard to get your head around it. Yesterday, the president sat down with a writer for the New York Post, and he was asked about not just the rioting in California, what's going on there, but he was asked about Iran.
So, Camp David, you were just there, and you were with the generals and the admirals and Marco Rubio. What were you talking about?
Well, I can't tell you exactly, but it was in pleasure. Without discussing anything, look, we had a meeting, a very important meeting, and really talked about many subjects.
Iran, Ukraine,
Well, one
Russia.
of them were, all of that. It's all big topics, especially when you have generals and admirals.
Do you think you're going to be able to stop Iran from enriching its nuclear?
I don't know. I did think so, and I'm getting more and more less confident about it. They seem to be delaying, and I think that's a shame. But I'm less confident now than I would have been a couple of months ago. Something happened to them, but I am much less confident of a deal being made. I would have said a deal would be made.
Something happened to them? Like,
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Like
I really,
China
I
talked
have
them out of it?
instincts about things.
you think China talked them out of it?
No, I don't think China has anything to do with it. I just think maybe they don't want to make a deal. What can I say? And maybe they do.
So what does that
There's
mean?
nothing final.
What happens then?
Well, if they don't make a deal, they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
Right.
If they do make a deal, they're not going to have a nuclear weapon too. But they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. So it's not going to matter from that standpoint. But it would be nicer to do it without warfare, without people dying.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer to do it. But I don't think I see the same level of enthusiasm for them to make a deal. I think I think they would make a mistake, but we'll see. I guess time will tell.
Then last night at the Kennedy Center, the president was asked about the evacuation of U.S. personnel from the region around Iran.
Give us an update on Iran because you're in charge.
Say it again.
Yes, a question from Newsmax. Could you provide an update on Iran? We're hearing reports that U.S. personnel are being moved out of the region within striking distance.
Well, they are being moved out because it could be a dangerous place, and we'll see what happens. But they are been. We've given notice to move out, and we'll see what happens.
Is there anything that can be done to dial the temperature down in the region?
They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon. We're not going to allow that.
Mr. President, question on the news.
It's pretty definitive.
Oh, gee. I just... No wars, please.
I know.
No wars in the Middle East, especially.
I know.
Well, it sounds like Israel's about to do something. And it also sounds like Israel's going to be doing this alone. So...
It also sounds like we're the ones holding them back. I think they wanted to do something about it a while ago.
Yeah.
And we've been holding them back.
Hoping this deal would come through, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Yep. And now it looks bad for that, apparently. Also last night at the Kennedy Center, President Trump was asked about actors that are planning to boycott his appearance there.
Who is?
It's been reported that some actors may be boycotting tonight.
I couldn't care less, honestly.
There you go.
All I do is run the country well. The economic numbers, you saw them today, they're setting records. We took $88 billion in tariffs in 2 months, far beyond what anybody expected. There's no inflation. People are happy. People are wealthy. The country is getting back to strength again. That's what I care about. And we're going to have a safe country. We're not going to have what would have happened in Los Angeles. Remember, if I wasn't there, if I didn't act quickly on that, Los Angeles would be burning to the ground right now.
I think that's true.
Yep.
It's accurate. Earlier in the day, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt had to deal with a very stupid question from a reporter about the anti-ICE protests in Los Angeles.
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the militant parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Raquel.
I just thought that was...
What a stupid question. Mikhail.
Next.
That's great.
Yeah,
So if there were peaceful protests on Saturday for the militant parade, President Trump would allow that?
Of course the president supports peaceful protests. What a stupid question. Raquel.
What a stupid question. Raquel.
Wow. Okay.
So good.
She took a bit of a sledgehammer there to a cockroach, but that's okay. It's okay. She's fun. She was also asked about President Trump's motivation for the crackdown in L.A.
On just everything sort of we've seen so far with the president's response to the LA protests, there is criticism that seems to suggest that the president responded the way he did because it was a deliberate, calculated attempt to sort of shift focus away from his feud with Musk. How would you respond to that?
No, come on.
That the president responded to the LA riots, condemning the violence to
from Musk.
That's an incredibly disingenuous attack. The
What a
president saw
stupid question.
images of Border Patrol and ICE agents being hailed with rocks and Molotov cocktails. He saw vehicles being burned to the ground with illegal aliens flying foreign flags, and that's what prompted the president to have this response that has clearly worked, because last night in Los Angeles, you didn't see many of those images. And I would add the governor and the mayor need to actually do more. I know Gavin Newsom had a big address to the nation last night. I guess he thought that's what it was for maybe his future political ambitions. But he spoke a lot of words. We haven't seen action. California has been a mess for years because of the incompetence of Gavin Newsom. So the president was responding to that only.
By the way, what a stupid question. Next.
Right.
That would have been totally appropriate with that question, too.
And the question
Asinine.
was, he's cracking down on the LA riots because of the Elon Musk stuff. He's trying to shift attention.
Oh, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Which, by the way, seems like they're repaired now because...
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same as it was a few weeks ago, but yeah, I think that calmed down. And I think Elon realizes he went way too far with that whole thing, and he'd probably like to have that back. A little late now. I think there was some damage done there, but it is nice to see a little détente happening.
So I don't think he's going to get invited back to the UFC fights with Trump.
Probably not.
But he wasn't there last weekend.
Probably not.
Well, speaking of uninvited, it appears that Senator Rand Paul According to Senator Rand Paul, he thinks he's the first U.S. senator to be uninvited to the White House picnic. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it's about this big, beautiful bill.
Of course
he's
it
not
is.
on board for. So I wonder if Ron Johnson got uninvited as well. Because he's been just as vocal as Rand Paul.
I mean, how do you even handle that if you can't go to the White House picnic? I don't know.
You quit, you senator.
You quit.
Yeah, you quit.
You just quit and you go back home. You take your toys and you go home. That's weird though that they disinvited him to the picnic.
Yeah,
hey,
it's as Rand Paul calls it, petty. And if that is accurate, I tend to agree. Karoline Leavitt yesterday, when she was talking about the L.A. riots, she did say that 330 illegal aliens were arrested already at the riots, and 113 of those 330 illegal aliens. They had prior criminal convictions. So y'all keep gathering in the same easy, convenient places, please.
Right.
So what I'm hearing is fathers and people that care for this country and moved here.
A lot of them are California men.
Yes.
With families at home that you don't want to separate them from.
Cali dad.
Cali dads. Yes.
Oh,
gosh. She also talked about the trade talks between the U.S. and China.
I do have more specifics for you. I spoke to the president about this. He spoke to his trade team, who did a fantastic job negotiating this on behalf of the United States and meeting with their Chinese counterparts. The president is talking to them about the details of it now. But what the president heard, he liked. China has agreed to open their markets to the United States separately of this deal. And when it comes to this deal, we're going back to the terms that were agreed upon in Geneva for the release of some of those critical minerals and the magnets from China to the United States. And we have agreed to fully comply with the Geneva Agreement as well. So the president is reviewing the details of that with his trade team now, and you'll hear more from him, I'm sure.
Okay. The president posted on Truth Social, our deal with China is done, subject to final approval with President Xi and me. So,
okay. I
guess an official announcement is pending.
Yeah.
Should happen very, very soon. From what I understand, the tariff, the 55% tariff on Chinese goods is still in place.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, is that permanent then?
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's interesting.
It sure is.
But if your goal is to bring American manufacturing back to America, you'd have to keep the tariff in place, right? That's what it was designed to do, is drive these companies back to the U.S.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's going to entice Apple to come back? I mean, they've got such a deal going in China with all of their products. I don't know that they'd ever do this. But
well, if they do, there's going to be that period of time, right, between now and when the factories get built. That
where there's a 55% tariff.
55% tariff on.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, trust the process, right?
Yes. It's been working pretty well so far. And speaking of the economy, the core inflation numbers came out yesterday, and it is 2.4% for May.
Boy, that's a
2.4%
tumble, and that's better than they thought. So, okay,
good.
Trust the process.
Yeah, it is working. It's actually better than they thought it was going to be doing. Even CNN had to admit that the economy is already doing well under President Trump.
Well, John, look, we got
new numbers came out.
Month of positive inflation news. Despite these historic tariffs, the latest numbers do show that inflation remained relatively tame in May. So the big number is the annual rate that came in at 2.4%. That is a slight acceleration from 2.3% in April, but this was better than expected.
Yeah.
Month over month, prices were up by just 0.1%. Again, that's better than expected, and that's actually a deceleration from what we saw in April. Now, one reason why these inflation numbers came in very much better than expected is because we did see a drop in energy prices. In particular, gas prices were low. Now, economists like to look at core inflation because that excludes food and energy, but that also came in better than expected. I'm digging into some of the categories. We did see that egg prices, they did fall on a month-over-month basis again, so that is a good sign.
Yeah, he's hot.
He's wants so desperately.
I know.
To bring us some bad news here, and he just can't. And you can tell it hurts him. It hurts him to have to give you these good numbers. Yeah, if you look at the cost of the products year over year, you see how much they're falling. Gas prices year over year now, not month to month, but they're down 12.5%. Smartphones 14.3%. Fuel oil 8.6, 7.3% for airfare. Public transportation down 5.4%. Leased vehicles 3.7. Energy 3.5. Fresh vegetables, which I don't really bother with. I don't really care.
Thing?
No,
that's not your thing.
No,
what?
It's not my thing. But 2.3% for those of you who do like to eat fresh vegetables. And hotels went down 1.7%.
Yeah,
so pretty much across the board.
I'm looking forward to that gas price and prices falling a lot more than they have. Lee Zeldin just announced earlier this week that we're about to start drill baby drilling all over Alaska.
Oh, good.
So that's something to look forward to. That should open up more resources, some more supply.
Yep. Let me take a minute and tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. Because when you're buying and selling a home, there's just a lot of stress in your life. And you need somebody who can relieve some of that stress for you. Somebody who can come in and help you make really important and really big decisions. Like, how much of your house should you remodel? If any of it. What will you get your money out of? Should you redo your kitchen, redo bathrooms? Those are probably two of the most popular things to rework. It's really important to buyers. But you need an agent who can help you through all that and decide on how much money you should probably spend to get your house ready to sell. Or maybe you don't need to spend a thing. Maybe you just sell it as is. That's where the realtor comes in. They know what buyers are looking for. They understand the market. And we've just found the best in your area, and we set you up with that person for free. It's a free service provided. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name really says it all. Fans of the show, you're going to have things in common, and you know they're going to do a great job for you. realestateagentsitrust.com.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
So, on the heels of all of this economic news, Treasury Secretary was on Capitol Hill yesterday, where he was promoting the big, beautiful bill. He explained what would happen to the economy if it doesn't pass.
It is what we call in economics a sudden stop. It would be cataclysmic. It would be the largest tax hike in history. It would be a disaster for businesses, for working Americans, and for our status in the world. That to have this happen, we would see increases in taxes on thousands of dollars of working Americans. We would see business contract, and we would see a substantial increase in the unemployment rate.
And we don't want that, frankly. We don't want that. That seems not ideal, suboptimal, if you will. He also had a run-in with Democrat Representative Linda Sanchez. You can't avoid that, right?
In fact, we've already seen that prices are rising on many everyday goods.
Congresswoman,
please don't interrupt me. The time is mine. The time is mine.
Pause it for a second. Please don't interrupt me when I'm lying to the American people. All right. While I'm lying, I want to continue the lie without being challenged on it and without it being corrected that, as we just discussed, the opposite is true. Wow. All right. Let her go.
Mine, please don't interrupt me. I will ask you questions and I will grant you an opportunity to answer them, but please don't interrupt me during my time.
With pleasure.
Okay, I know I'm a woman, but please try to limit yourself to answering my questions.
Oh, that's
No, I'm sorry, but we
pathetic.
get talked over all the time, and I don't want that to happen at this hearing.
Oh, my God. Oh, jeez.
Oh.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. It was more to do with the fact that you're a lying sack of crap. That I didn't even really notice that you're a woman because there's nothing remarkable about your womanhood. So I don't really care about that. But the lie, I would like to jump in there. Like to jump in there and mentioned that everything you just said is a stinking lie.
That's pathetic, man.
Oh, my God.
And this guy's a liar.
Wow. So there was a second night of curfews in Los Angeles last night. Things are a little bit calmer now, according to reports on the ground, at least overnight. And Representative Maxine Waters had a message for President Trump yesterday.
He has a responsibility in all of this. He started this. There should be no violence. He should not continue to support violence. They should not be edged on and, provoked in any way. And that's what the President of the United States is doing, to exert his power and to show that he's in charge and to show that he's going to get the numbers that he promised to get people deported. And so you know him. Everybody knows him.
We know you, too. We know you're a lying sack of crap. Wow. It is they who have encouraged and actually promoted this violence the whole time. Then the person who moves people in to try to quell the violence is the perpetrator of the violence. It's incredible what we're witnessing right now.
Yeah, and Victor Davis Hanson had a great message the other day for Newsom and Bass. We don't have time for it here. It's pretty long. But you do need to see what Gavin Newsom sounded like just after January 6th in the use of the California National Guard compared to now. My word, this guy.
We're taking important steps here in California in light of what we saw at our nation's capital just last week. Let me be clear. There will be no tolerance for violence. That's why today, along with the CHP and Office of Emergency Services, I've activated the California National Guard to support the CHP to enhance security with an initial deployment of up to 1,000 Guard members to protect critical state infrastructure in and around the state capitol. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets. He chose theatrics over public safety. That's when the downward spiral began.
No. Wow.
So it's not theatrics when you call up the National Guard for something that happened on the other side of the continent.
Right.
That's not theatrics. Right. But when you have a city, the largest city in your state, burning to the ground, and you don't want the California National Guard in there, this guy is... you get worn out saying it, the hypocrisy of the left.
You also might recognize the President of the United States known as the Commander-in-Chief. So he's not commandeering troops. I mean, the guy is the Commander-in-Chief. So he has this ability, and he exercised it because you weren't doing it. God, jeez. It's despicable the way they are just purposefully driving a wedge through Americans right now and keeping us separated and at each other's throats, and they don't care.
What do you think Saturday is going to look like? What do you think it's going to look like around the nation? It's going to be chaos everywhere, or
peaceful, organic.
You think people
protest.
will show up? Are they paying them?
I've seen videos that they're getting paid $200 a day to protest.
I don't know.
$200 a day for every protester?
No, the influencers.
Oh, okay.
The ones that can bring the masses.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they're getting paid or not. There's been reports of Craigslist ads, but I don't know that those may be pranks. But I do know that these are definitely not grassroots or organic. Neither of those apply to these protests. So we saw the video yesterday. They show up and they pass out riot gear to the protesters. I mean, they're itching for a fight. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Pallets of bricks.
Saturday's going to be interesting.
And if they don't have a pallet of bricks delivered to them, they just break up sidewalk parts and throw that.
Oh, man.
Let me just make some concrete blocks here that I could throw at people. It's incredible.
I hope ICE is at all of these locations around the country. We saw how fruitful it was in L.A.
888-900-3393. Warpack Grand Leash coming up.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
got some tweets here from Spicy Gangsta. Katy Perry is married to a Brit. Maybe she should go there and bitch about all the land they've stolen. Is she still married to a Brit? Because is that what's his face?
I don't know.
Russell Brand. Isn't that who she was married to for a time?
Sure. I'm told Orlando Bloom.
Oh, it's Orlando Bloom. Wasn't she with?
Oh my gosh, I don't know, and I don't know.
She not with Russell Brand too? Huh. Okay. So
Joe's giving me way too much Katy Perry information.
They were married. Russell Brand and her were married from 2010 to 2012, according to
I'm way behind the celebrity marriage timeline here. Okay. So
it's like me with movie watching.
Yes.
Okay, so now it's Orlando Bloom?
No, he
No?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, we got that.
So, you want to complain about somebody, a country that is imperialist in nature. Wow. Escalated thought criminal. Apparently, Elon and Trump are in couples counseling and learning to love again. Oh, that's great. That's good. New bomb Turk. Elon's ketamine finally wore off, and he realized how childish and petty he was behaving.
And by the way, I'm going to correct you all. They're not married. They're engaged.
Oh, okay.
They just got engaged in 2019.
Katie and Orlando?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I'm so glad you jumped in with
and
that.
they have a daughter together named Daisy Dove Bloom.
Wait, they've got a daughter together?
Yes, she was born in 2020.
Well, don't rush into anything then. Good.
No.
Yeah, don't rush
Pat,
into marriage.
Thank you.
Now. Come
They've
on.
been dating since 2016. Or
okay.
Wikipedia says they've been partners since. What am I doing? I'm feeding the fire. Oh. No more Katy Perry talk.
Victor Davis Hanson had a message for California Governor Gavin Newsom. This was worth the wait. Los Angeles Mayor
rioting
Karen Bass
in Los Angeles against ICE for its efforts to apprehend illegal aliens and employers who were hiring illegal aliens. And the riots started out initially without very many numbers, but then they turned violent. And by violence, I would define that as throwing rocks at cars, torching cars, defacing government buildings, and attacking law enforcement. And Gavin Newsom then gave a series of editorializations that I think have ruined his chances ever to be a serious national candidate. He said this was chaotic, this was reckless, and he said that they were just trying to have an arbitrary deportation quota. Gavin, 12 million people came into the country illegally. That was 3 million a year. That was 250,000 per month. That was over 8,000 a day. They have not been able to deport more than 1,000 on most days, sometimes 500. They would have to deport 8,000 people every single day for 4 years to get back where we were with 20 million illegal aliens when Joe Biden entered office. So it's not a quota, it's an effort to stop an invasion. So what I'm getting at is, on one side of these violent acts, you have these protesters. And I'll just give a word of advice. You're going to lose the optics, Democrats, left, and immigration protesters, if you have a lot of people here illegally and they're waving the American, not the American flag, but the Mexican flag as they're committing acts of violence. Think of the logic. I am waving the flag of the country under no circumstances I want to return, but I am attacking the officers and the infrastructure of the country that under every circumstance I want to stay in. So you know what is really reckless, Gavin? You know what is chaotic? Is you. You did not intervene to stop the violence. Donald Trump does not want to see a May, June, July, August, September 2020. $2 billion in property damage, 35 people killed, 1,500 officers assaulted, $14,000 arrest, precinct burned, courthouse burned, historic church burned. He doesn't want to see that. Final bottom line. If you take an oath to enforce the laws of your state or the country, and you see people swarming detention centers, swarming the streets, obstructing traffic, burning cars, trying to injure people with rocks, and you do nothing, then you are forsaking your oath of office. You took your recent effort to be moderate, centrist, your podcast, and you let you lit a fuse and you blew it up. Nobody in their right mind would ever vote for you for anything after you went into a volatile, dangerous situation and tried to pour gasoline on it by essentially saying you, the governor, will not do anything to restore order or quiet, and you sided with people who are committing violence against their fellow residents of Los Angeles.
Hard to argue with any of that.
Yeah, and he mentioned the flag stuff. I mean, you always talk about that. The flag waving. It's never an American flag. It's always a third world hole that they're coming from. It's going to be interesting because there is a rumbling on the left that, hey, maybe we should, even though we don't love this country, maybe we should wave the American flag. I think you're going to see a lot of American flags
this weekend.
Yes, this weekend around the country.
They'll probably be distributing them at these rallies for the people who want nothing to do with them and would never get one themselves. But if they're handed one and they're told, hey, this is going to look a lot better than you waving a Mexican flag in our face, I could see that happening.
Now, if the people you're handing them to didn't get the memo,
they'll be burning them.
They may think, cool.
oh, firewood. Yeah. Okay, good. Yep. Thank you.
It's going to be interesting.
It's, I wouldn't have, I mean, if I didn't see it with my own eyes, I don't know that I would have believed it.
And I can't play this because legal stuff, but I'm seeing a lot of Mexican flags being put up in construction sites across the United States. There's this big montage of big Mexican flags being raised at construction sites.
That matches the music they're playing at the construction sites too.
Yes. So,
pass the chips.
Salsa, por favor.
Yeah, that's it's going to be interesting this weekend. You're going to have on a split screen. You're going to have the big parade thing going on, the military stuff in D.C.
Yeah,
and then the other side you'll have
it's a big weekend,
big American city burning.
Jeez. Some videos we didn't get to yesterday about the riots. Chris sent this one in, right? Gavin Newsom trying to give the address.
Yeah, he was trying to do this a big address, but there was no audio.
The audio didn't work?
No audio.
This should be fun. Too bad it's not that. That's not the case every single time he tries to speak. There should be somebody.
Okay, we are working on the audio. Not sure if that's on the governor's end, but we're working to get that production up and running for you so you can listen
and
in.
he has no idea.
We certainly will have excerpts of what the governor has said, but we're efforting to get the audio working so we can hear
We're not trying, we're
Governor
efforting.
Newsom's speech.
Okay.
That's so good. So was that the feed on all stations?
Yes, that was the feed. Yes,
Was it really?
That was the feed that they were sending. There was no audio.
Oops.
Someone got fired.
Oops.
Did they?
President Trump mocked Timmy Walz, Tampon Tim. I love the man. I mean, don't we all love him? Mocked him and his response to the 2020 riots.
You know, I called in the military in Minneapolis, but it was 7 days. I waited for this guy, the same guy that ran for vice president, who's a very dumb person. He's a low IQ individual, like many Democrats are.
I love it. I love it. He's a very dumb person. He's a low IQ person.
To quote Jeff Fisher, where's the lie? There wasn't one there.
No. Nope. 888-900-3393, by the way, is our phone number if you want to get in touch with us for any reason.
For any reason whatsoever.
Any reason. Could be anything. Maybe you just want to tell us what the weather is like in your area. I don't know. Let me tell you about Beam Organics, though, in the meantime. Beam is proudly founded in America. It's run by people who love America, who share our values, hard work, integrity, and delivering results. It's a healthy nighttime blend packed with science-backed ingredients shown to improve sleep, so you wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day. Beam is made with a powerful blend of all-natural ingredients. It's not a drug. It's got reishi in it, magnesium, L-theanine, apigenin, and melatonin. It's designed to help you fall asleep, stay asleep, and then wake up feeling amazing. And that's much different than other sleep aids that you can take. Things that will probably knock you out, but then you wake up all groggy and you just want to go right back to sleep. Well, right now with Beam, they're giving you a Patriot discount of up to 40% off. Try their best-selling Dream Powder, and you'll get 40% off for a limited time. Go to shopbeam.com/Pat. Use the promo code PAT at checkout. That's shop, BEAM, shopbeam.com/Pat. Do it now.
And now, Pat Gray returns.
That's me. Yeah.
So that's true. You did return.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
it's true. Where's the lie?
Thank you.
There wasn't one there. Last night, former Ohio governor, and how much have you missed him, John Kasich? How much have you missed him?
Wasn't his father a
mailman? Mailman. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know how you heard that.
How did
he
you
only
know?
mentioned it about 7,000 times.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I was confused. I was like, is it him or is it somebody else?
Apparently his dad was a mailman.
Mailman.
Mm-hmm.
What?
So what you want in a president of the United States is someone who can make decisions.
Yeah.
And then stick with them, and you just
go.
You have conviction.
It's kind of important, right?
Yeah. I want you to listen to this answer, and while you're listening to this answer, I want you to imagine if John Kasich had actually ever become the president of the United States.
Holy cow.
Look, what we're missing in our country right now is a great dose of empathy. Everybody favors getting the criminals out of this country who came here illegally, but there's a great disagreement about whether we should then pursue those who are not here illegally. And I just want to go back in history because
really
Eisenhower tried to deport 1 million people out of this country, and it turned out to be an ugly chapter in America. The idea that we're going to go out there and just start sweeping people up is something that I think Americans won't tolerate. On the other hand, in my opinion, I think the Californians, Newsom and the mayor of L.A., they didn't act quickly enough when they saw the attacks being made on ICE, the threats that were being made at the building where ICE was staged. And so that gave Trump an opportunity to move into that. And but look, let me also say the idea of seeing the military deployed like that is very, very disturbing to me. I don't like it. On the other hand, when you talk about violence, people are like, I don't want to see violence. Get it stopped, whatever it takes.
Wait.
You get it?
Okay.
So President Kasich, what would you do?
Firmly landed on both sides of the issue. So good job, John. Good job. That was really powerful.
That's like great flip-flops.
And the polling number, even CNN, we showed, no, we're good on rounding people up and getting them out of here if they're here illegally.
Even immigrants agree with
immigrants.
this. Immigrants agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that guy's...
Wow. We dodged a bullet there, too.
He is.
He's terrible.
But his dad was a mailman. Like, doesn't that take him
Wait,
to
where
the
did
front?
you get that?
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I hadn't heard that.
Yes, he
His
was a
dad's-
mailman.
Huh.
Yeah, he was a mailman.
Wow.
Yeah.
So just like an average working
Average
guy,
Joe.
right?
Yes.
Working hard. Probably had to walk a lot for that job, would be my guess. So it wasn't a real cushy, like a desk job. Huh. That's interesting. All right, let's go to Shannon in New York. Hey, Shannon, you're on the Blaze. Welcome.
Bingo, bingo, bingo.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice job.
Where did it happen for you, Shannon?
Down in the bottom row, I got
Mhm.
Chris says that's gay.
Yep.
Pat mentions Tampon Tim.
Okay.
Biden says I can beat the hell out of both of them.
Mhm.
Keith, what a world. And Pat says head of the gates.
Head of the gates.
Excellent job. All right. Where in New York do you live?
Southern Tier area, about Binghamton. It's about 3 hours away from the city.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the better part of New York, probably.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it, Shannon. We got $30 worth of merchandise from PatGrayShop.com and a dozen Kexi cookies from Kexi.com. So Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson said the administration is scared. Yeah. And they're no better than the Confederacy during the Civil War. Oh. Okay.
They are absolutely terrified. And that's, look, I remember a few stand-ups ago when I talked about what terrorism looks like. This is it. There should be no question to what our country would look like had the Confederacy won. We're seeing it on full display.
We're seeing it on full display.
Just so stupid. It's hard to even respond to something that stupid.
So does Brandon Johnson, a black man, think he would be a mayor of a city in the United States if the Confederacy had won? Is that...
That's his logic.
He's
yes.
a noodle that one out, brother. Okay, that was fun.
That's amazing.
Confederacy is in charge.
It's amazing.
And he also called the government terrorists in that same clip. Did you hear that? This is terrorism.
Yeah, this guy's a real radical.
Yeah.
There's also been reports of a military member speaking out against President Trump's actions in Los Angeles. What's the story, Chris, about this clip we're going to see
this
here?
is in Dallas. This is right here. This was this past weekend.
Really?
Yes. This is at the time, everybody thought this person was active duty in the military, and she said this. Clip 18.
We are not pawns for Donald Trump's agenda. Why now? It's because the military was called upon innocent protesters. We, in our oath to serve, we serve the people of the United States. The Constitution, these constitutional rights are being stripped and just denied, and the military will not be pawns to that. So I'm calling upon the conscience of military members who served previously and now. We have a conscience, we have mind, and we have a duty and moral obligation to say no and resist evil.
Okay. Well,
cool.
And then if you put up picture 4, the Rapid Response DOD said the woman in this video was discharged from the Texas National Guard in 2020. She does not speak for the Army, but then they corrected that one more time. Correction, she was dismissed in 2014, but her Army Reserve, it was in 2020.
Okay.
So she's been out for 5 years.
Yes.
So she was active duty from November 2010 to August 2014.
Yes.
Then she was reserve from the 14th, from 2014 until June 20th. So she's not active either way.
She's not active.
She's not active
at all.
military.
No, so she does not speak for us military people.
That was pretty misleading. She's wearing the uniform.
And a lot of military soldiers from the Army saying, where's her unit patch? Which that's triggered a lot of investigating because she didn't have a unit patch.
Okay.
Which is, I guess, okay. But, girl, get off your uniform. You do not represent the military.
Do you have your unit patch?
I do have my unit patch.
I don't see it today. Where is it?
Am I wearing my uniform today?
No, you only wear it with your uniform, right?
There you go. Yes,
okay.
sir.
So is it okay for you to show up in full
It is
uniform
not okay. It's
when you're not
actually-
in the military?
No.
It's
you
not
can't.
okay. That's what I thought.
Only when you do certain activities like, Veterans Day or a funeral.
So showing up at a protest to protest the commander-in-chief is probably not appropriate?
Not
then?
even
Is that what you're
active. That's
saying?
against the USCMJ.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
she was
for
active,
sure, if you were active,
she was active,
you could be arrested
100% and court-martialed.
Right.
But you can't
and you
do
should
that.
be. So even inactive, you cannot show
No, you
up in
cannot.
full uniform like that.
Only if it's official ceremony like a funeral, Veterans Day, or something like that.
Wow. Okay. 888-900-3393. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
This is some tragic news. An Air India jet just crashed. It was taking off from India to London, and it crashed in an urban area somewhere. Just we don't have any idea what happened there yet, right?
No, we don't.
Oof! Look at that. Jeez. 242 passengers aboard.
Yep, 169
Really sad.
Indian, 53 British, 1 Canadian, and 7 Portuguese.
Oof. Very, very sad.
And no survivors. There's video footage of hidden, like you said, it looked like it was like an apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Anybody on the ground killed too? Or
I
do
don't
we know about that?
I know there's dead bodies everywhere.
Ugh, jeez.
So.
Really sad. Also, some sad news. Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys just passed away yesterday at the age of 82. Apart from all his success, what a tough life he had. He had some real struggles. And I think did he have dementia toward the end there?
Yeah. There was a lot of, it was a neurological issue going on there. But yeah, dementia was part of that. Sad.
So we lost Brian Wilson at the age of 82. Got a few tweets here. Sons of Thunder 44 tweets, how many sides of the mouth can Kasich speak from?
Kidding.
At least 2. We know that for sure. Jeff Gibson, the protesters are so smart to have their big rally on a Saturday. Finally, that one guy from Pocatello, Idaho, who works all week, can make his voice heard. Yeah, that'll be great. That's great for him. and I hope he shows up.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Pocatello footage on Saturday.
Steve Deace is in town and using our studio this week, and he left us a little present, which is kind of fun.
A new lightning bolt? Oh, no.
He's got a new book out. It looks like a children's book. Richie Meets the Rainbow.
Nice.
A heartwarming tale of childhood enlightenment.
So he's finally in the, woke. He's woke.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, open it up and read it and see how woke he is. That's great. Nice little inscription there for Pat and Keith. I didn't break your lightning bolt. Yeah. You know what? What are you going to say?
Yeah.
If you did break the lightning bolt, are you going to say, yeah, you're right, I broke it.
Sounds
I'm
guilty
coming clean
to me.
now.
That is guilt. Plus, if you didn't break the lightning bolt, why would you leave us a gift?
Thank you.
Oh, he was trying to make up for it.
Yeah.
So you kind of admitted that.
Feeling guilty.
If the guilt is...
Feeling guilty.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of ironic we're talking about the lightning bolt because Pat had Canvas who he made the other lightning bolt.
Yeah, the one that fits on top of the broken one.
Because
the one that Steve broke.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Pat.
When he discovered it was too small, apparently he's en route right now. He's driving through Dallas.
Oh, wow.
And so any minute now, James Perry up front is going to deliver us a new lightning bolt that is actually the correct size. So thank you.
That'll be good. And we finally get Jeffy off his back. Oh, yeah, thanks for the small lightning bolt that doesn't work.
So we're going to donate the bigger one for auction, and what are we doing?
Oh, yeah, we could auction that off, sure. Yeah, that would be fun.
We'll get right on that.
This is kind of sad, too, for Democrats. David Hogg is apparently, he's not long for his position. In fact, I think he's already been voted out of his position at the DNC. He was vice chair or something.
Yeah, one of the...
Yeah, he was removed from vice chair.
Okay.
294 to 99.
Oh, so it was razor thin.
It was razor thin. They did like 3 recounts, Pat. He called for 3 recounts. It was so close. But decided, quote, diversity quotas for his removal.
Jeez.
Wait, hold on.
His diversity quota or somebody else, or they need a minority in that position.
They need more diversity.
Okay, first of all, that's
DNC.
hysterical.
Okay, yeah.
If that's the reason he's not there.
He's pissing people. He already pissed off.
Oh, he pissed off everybody.
Yeah.
I just thought he wasn't running because remember there was controversy with the original vote, and they said, "Hey, in 9 months or whatever, we're going to have a revote." And
no, he's been so bad that they wanted him out now.
Okay, well, because his last tweet was, "I'm not running for the new DNC vice chair election."
Well, when
he's trying to soft pedal
he's
it.
a soft pedal that.
Yeah, it's
I'm
like
not running.
Okay.
It's like the Chris Matthews promotion. Remember when he went from weekdays to weekend? He got promoted.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So that's what this is like.
That's where the eyeballs are.
Yeah,
on the weekend.
Right. Yes, at like 3 a.m. on the weekend. 3 a.m. Sunday mornings. That's where the big audience is.
Yeah, that's peak.
Well, now he can focus on his pillow company.
Yes.
He left years ago.
Rowdy Introvert made us a prototype there for David Hogg.
Okay. It's fun.
Good stuff.
It's just good, clean fun right there. Let me take a minute and talk to wives and daughters about Father's Day, which is Sunday. It's almost here. And if you're still scrambling for a gift, you didn't really know what to get Dad, you don't have to worry. You don't have to go get a last-minute gadget of some sort or a tie or a pack of socks. Get your husband or dad what he really wants. And that's something that speaks to who he is. In a world that mocks masculinity, traditional values, and fatherhood, he needs a place that still has his back. And that's where Blaze TV comes in. It's where unapologetic conservative voices call out the nonsense and stand up for what's right. Faith, family, and freedom. So you can get your Father's Day special right now, which is $30 off an annual subscription when you use the code DAD30. This week only. It's just really fast. It's easy. You don't have to wrap it. And it actually means something. Get your dad something he'll really enjoy. And that's a Blaze subscription. $30 off the price right now. BlazeTV.com. Promo code DAD30.
Now, more Pat Gray Unleashed.
So you saw that Simone Biles apologized, right? Did we mention that yesterday?
Yes, we did.
She apologized to Riley Gaines. Riley Gaines kind of, I don't know, did she gloat a little bit when she said, I consider it a big victory? And, you know, it's true. I mean, it is kind of a victory because that rarely happens. But there was such a backlash, I think, against Simone Biles. I think she was really surprised that not everybody agreed with her on that. I mean, these people live in such a little liberal bubble that all they know is their little worldview, and they can't imagine that there's anybody outside of that. And so when she says Riley Gaines looks like a man, who knew people would be upset about that? When she said that, hey, trans people need a place in women's sports, basically that's what she said. Who knew that there'd be those who disagree with it? You know, it's really not hard to noodle out for all these people in their little liberal world. It just is a fact that men and women are different. Biological males are going to have an advantage against biological females, and it's just not right that there's so many people who are okay with them competing against biological women. As we pointed out many times before, one of the greatest female athletes of all time, Serena Williams, talked about the differences between men and women when it comes to sports. Despite the fact that USA Today just claimed in an article, I think it was on Monday, that there is no scientific evidence that men have any kind of advantage over women in sports. USA Today makes that claim? Well, here is what Serena Williams had to say about it.
Men's tennis and women's tennis are completely almost two separate sports. So I'm like, if I were to play Andy Murray, I would lose 6-0, 6-0 in 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Because
wow.
No, it's true. It's true.
It is true. You're right.
It's a completely different sport. The men are a lot faster.
Oh.
They
I'm sorry, what?
They serve harder, they hit harder. It's just a different game. And
Wow. That is from the number one women's player in the world. And she knows all of that because she got beat by the 203rd ranked man in the world when she was at the top of her game. So she understands the issue. She really does. And you know what? All you have to do at USA Today is take a peek at in fact, all statistics in any given sport and compare the men's times, the men's distances to the women's time and the women's distances and see which is better. Whatever sport you're looking at, track and field, swimming, it doesn't matter. There is a reason that men's times are better than women's in every case because we're different, and that's okay. It's okay that we're different. In fact, it's great that we're different. But that's why separate categories were invented in the first place in all of these sports so that men could compete against men and women would compete against women. It's fair that way. And just because some male has decided that he identifies as a female, that doesn't make that person a female. That male still has male muscle mass, bone structure, chromosomes. I mean, if I were to identify as a gerbil, would you guys then consider me a gerbil? Yeah! If I came into the studio and said I'm a gerbil now?
I mean, this is tough.
It is. It's difficult, isn't it?
I mean,
because you don't want to be hateful, right?
No, I don't want to be hateful. And the entertainment value for the show
will go through the roof
to kind of encourage your transition.
Yeah, and look, if I identify as a gerbil, then I am one.
Right?
Yes.
That's what I hear. That's how that works.
I'll even make a GoFundMe page so you could go through the full transition to a gerbil.
Goodness.
Okay.
Looking forward to this. Can we do this? When are we starting this?
Well, today
really soon.
He just came out. He said he identifies as a gerbil. So
yeah, well, right now I'm sort of half identifying as a gerbil.
Okay, got it.
Before you completely identify as a gerbil, you need to check the Blaze healthcare plan.
Oh, and see if gerbils are covered.
See if the transition.
That's a good point.
Because if it's not,
you don't want to be on the other end.
Lose
of the
all my health care.
Well, not just that. If it's not, you start suing now the Blaze for not covering
gerbils.
Yeah.
It's a really good point.
So
Yeah. So.
Okay.
All right.
Look into that.
So I'm going to work on that.
The clicks, baby. The clicks. Just do it for the clicks.
And Pat, I know you're talking about gender. My favorite story that I did not know was when the soccer team, the U.S. soccer team, lost to 14-year-old boys?
Yeah, it was the 14 and under All-Stars in Dallas.
And under. Just make sure you
14
add
and under.
Sorry, don't call them 14-year-olds.
Sorry,
because
14 and under. The women's national team. And it was 5-2. They lost 5-2.
Oh, and then they canceled. They stopped the game.
They stopped the game.
That's right.
They stopped the game.
That's because they were so embarrassed that they're getting beaten by 14-year-old boys.
And then, just to clarify, Pat, this is a team that represents us in the world stage, correct?
Well, yeah. And
the Olympics?
And they're world champions. They're gold medal winners.
The gold medalist,
in women's sports, but it was a little bit different
For
now.
the 14 and under.
Right, yes.
Okay.
But it was some of the best 14 and unders in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So, in fairness, 14 and under. So there were some 12 and 13-year-olds.
So,
but,
I'm really excited. I want to support you in your transition, and I want to check before I click order to make this more smooth for you. Are you into, what kind of gerbil type toys would you want? Like the little trail thingy?
Oh, I think that tunnel thing is kind of cool.
You like the tunnel thing? Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
How about this right here? This little bridgey
I'm not sure what I do with that. Do I just...
Well, don't chew on it because it's shelter for you.
Oh.
And you just lay there. That's where you lay.
You lay there.
Do you want the swing set? Because the swing set is pretty cool.
Now, look, we can get you these little twine deals. But again, you don't want to destroy them.
Yeah. What do I do with the twine?
Just chew on it, kind of work on your teeth.
But don't get carried away because then it'll unravel and it'll be a mess.
We don't want that.
Yes.
We don't want that.
We'll make sure that your teeth are sharpened.
Definitely the tunnel, Keith. I think the tunnel is...
You like the tunnel?
Really
the tunnel's cool, man.
The tunnel's really cool.
So just keep us updated. Chris will be in charge of cleaning your cage.
I will.
Oh,
All right.
absolutely.
Yeah?
I'll get you a cage.
All right.
Yes.
Not just get me one, but you got to clean it every
No, I'll
day.
clean it. Yes, I'll get you the hay. I'll get you the
here on this side.
Oh,
Take
yeah.
the whole side.
Right.
And if it starts smelling in here, I'm gonna be.
It's my fault. Yes, it's my fault.
Okay. Let me tell you about Miracle Made. You know, the weather is heating up, and your nighttime bedroom temperature has a huge impact on your sleep quality. So if you wake up either too hot or too cold, let me recommend Miracle Made's bed sheets. Miracle Made sheets are inspired by NASA, and they use silver-infused fabrics that are temperature regulating so that you can sleep at the perfect temperature all night long. Miracle sheets are luxuriously comfortable, too, without that really high price tag of other luxury brands, and they feel as nice, if not nicer, than the sheets at five-star hotels. So stop sleeping on bacteria. Bacteria can clog your pores. It can... it's just nasty. I don't even want to get into all the things that, we've mentioned before that your sheets there can be more bacteria on them than your toilet seat. That's just nasty, right? It's just icky. So sleep clean with Miracle Made sheets. Upgrade your sleep as the weather heats up. Go to trymiracle.com/Pat to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you're buying them for yourself or as a gift for a loved one, if you order today, you can save over 40%. And if you use my promo code PAT at checkout, you'll get a free 3-piece towel set and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in this product that it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. No questions asked. Upgrade your sleep today with Miracle Made. Go to TryMiracle, TryMiracle.com/Pat, promo code Pat, to get your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40%. Again, TryMiracle.com/Pat.
Pat Gray Unleashed. Sarcasm with 0 calories returns after this.
Got some tweets here. Bob Corona. I'm efforting to get my tweet read on Pat Gray Unleashed, much like David Hogg is efforting to be relevant.
Effort harder, bro.
It worked, Bob.
No, it worked, yeah.
No,
nice
didn't
job.
need to try harder. He didn't need to effort harder. Giblets. Pat's half gerbil Twitter handle incoming. Yes. The Twitter handles will be prevalent, I'm sure.
Can't wait.
Also, Head Canvas has delivered the
He sure did.
Has delivered the lightning bolt, the full-size lightning bolt.
And he's hanging out with me back here.
Yeah, nice. Thanks, Will. This
Passing
is great.
through Dallas.
Where are you from?
Memphis,
Tennessee.
Okay.
And is this something you do for a living, or you just do it on the side?
Yeah, he just
very cool.
Woodwork.
Wow.
No, I just do it for fun.
Okay.
And I do it for my friends.
That's awesome. Thank you. That's very cool.
Should we imply that you think of us as friends? I thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
You. No, you are very talented because you made all these wood carvings in here and stuff. I mean, you are talented, man.
Yeah.
And I'm getting Velcro ready so that this lightning bolt isn't going to fall prey to a Steve Deace who just runs in here and just starts banging
and
stuff
just
around.
starts smashing into our stuff and breaking it. Yeah.
And if
also,
it falls,
it's Jeffy-proof because tomorrow he can't be whining, it's not the right size. Thanks for not making it the right size.
Awesome.
And the little one will be back here, Velcro to the wall.
Okay.
So.
Very cool. All righty.
Yes, it has to be Jeffy-sized. That's why he made it a little bit bigger.
Nice. Like it.
Everything's bigger when it's Jeffy size. Just saying.
All right, back to the New York Post sit down with President Trump yesterday. He was asked about his first lady, Melania. Here's what he had to say about her.
You must be incredibly proud of Melania, of the First Lady, of what she's been through. I mean, was it hard to talk her into coming back to the White House after the way she was treated, quite badly last time?
Well, she was in a way treated badly, but in another way, the people love her.
New York Post readers love her.
Oh, yeah. The New York Post has been great. Actually, New York Post they really do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And I appreciate it. And you're a big part of that. Great. People don't know they're watching. This is your first podcast, but you are a tremendous success. And what you do for the New York Post is amazing. Great writer.
Thank you.
There aren't many of them. It's a tremendous talent. But Melania is very respected and loved by the people.
Yeah.
But she doesn't get treated fairly, I would say, by the press.
I mean, she seemed, she dressed much sort of more fiercely this time, I felt, during the, it was almost like she was sending a signal like, you're not messing with me this time.
She loves the country. She loves the people of the country. The media is the media. If she were a Democrat, if she were married to a Democrat, she'd be
on Vogue 20 times.
It would be a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But does she care? She doesn't care about not being on the cover of Vogue.
She doesn't seem to.
No.
Well, she's been on the cover of Vogue, and she's been on the cover of a lot of them.
Yeah.
But she's a very confident person. Now, if you weren't confident, you'd care.
Yes.
But she's been there. She's done so well. And as a first lady, they love her. Yeah. There's a great elegance and coolness that she's got. The people really, so many people say, like when I make speeches, they have pictures. We love our first lady.
Yeah.
And they do. They really do.
We also learned a fun story about his childhood.
When you were little, you were found to be have a musical genius.
That's right. They said, my father and mother took me to a place, like an aptitude place, to see what I would be good at, what I liked, and what my talent was at pretty young, like probably 11 or 12. And I went through this process for a couple of days, and they came up to my father. They said, your son is brilliant at music. He'd be an incredible musician. This is not what my father wanted to hear. This was not the greatest thing. But I do have an ear for music.
Yes.
I mean, I really, I think music has played a big role. I play great music. People like the music I play. But it was funny because my father would not have thought about music for me. But I do. I think I have an ear for music. They play a note, and like on a piano, and then I remember to this day.
Yeah.
And then they'd ask you other questions, and then they'd play notes later on, and they'd say, which is the note we played from 1 hour ago? And I'd get it right, I guess. Wow. But that was a long time ago. But
did you ever play an instrument?
I played, for very short periods of time, the flute. Would you believe
really?
that?
Did you like it?
I had flute lessons. It's the first person that's ever asked me that crazy question. Yeah, I had flute. Can you believe it? I could have been a flutist. And I didn't particularly like it. I don't know. It wasn't for me. And my mother had me with, I had an instructor come in to teach me how to play the flute. Can you believe that? Who would think?
I can't imagine it.
An unusual instrument.
You could maybe still do it.
I doubt it. I don't think so.
Wow. That's a fun fact.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed the flute.
Yeah. I want to see. Now I've got to see President Trump and Lizzo on stage playing the flute together. Right? Because she did that.
They could do that at the Kennedy Center.
Let's go.
There, you got your next performance right there. President Donald Trump and Lizzo playing the flute together.
Together at last.
Because that is her instrument, right? We've actually seen her play the flute.
James Madison's
Oh,
flute.
that's right. Jeez.
Her mouth touched that flute.
Yeah, that. Look, I mean, she played it well.
He did.
It's cool, but nobody should be playing that.
Nobody should be playing that.
Nobody.
No, not the greatest flautist in the world.
Thank you.
There's the word.
Thank you.
Flautist.
Yes. They should not be messing with James Madison's flute. That's not right. All right. 888-900-3393. Pat Unleashed on Twitter.
You see Steve Ducey's at the Capitol today. He's making his way up back to the... They better be nervous in New York at the studio. He's getting closer. He went in Florida, Tennessee, now D.C.
Yeah. They got him out of the studio, but they are going on a walk with him every day. And they call it, I think, the morning walk with Steve Ducey.
He's coming back for that couch, though. Give it a week.
Yeah, he seems to be getting closer. That's for sure. More coming up.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
All right, so we got it kind of hanging. It's a work in progress. We got
we don't have the light attached yet.
Yeah, and it's a little crooked, but we'll work on it.
Yeah,
it's great.
Will is awesome. He's such a cool guy.
Yeah, we deployed at the same time. He was in the Bagram base the same time I was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did you cross paths with him?
We did not.
Okay.
Huh.
So he
But
wasn't
I took prisoners
guarding the gate then.
Well, he worked behind the other gate because he worked at the prison, and I took prisoners to him.
Oh, wow.
So, pretty cool.
Oh, nice. All right.
That's amazing.
That's what I said.
Wow. Kind of a coincidence, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
I love this story because, science is settled on so many things. So don't ever dispute it, Don't ever question it. A bunch of scientists now believe the Big Bang Theory is wrong to the point where they're publishing it in scientific journals. It's wrong, and many of them now think our universe sits inside a black hole. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Sure. Yeah, I got that. Since the 1930s, when Belgian theoretical physicist Georges Lemaitre proposed the universe emerged from a primeval atom. So this was, this is the theory that this little speck, this little dot somewhere, I don't know where, in the nothingness, had infinite mass. It was smaller than the head of a pin, but it had infinite mass and exploded and became everything, right? It just spun off. It continues to create everything and just keeps going and going and going as the universe expands. And that all came from an atom. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I buy that. So researchers believed everything came from that, right? That single point of infinite density. Well, now an international team of physicists led by University of Portsmouth's Institute of Cosmology and Gravitation has now suggested instead that the universe formed following a huge gravitational collapse that generated a massive black hole. Well, what collapsed then? How did something collapse before the universe was even created? Very strange. Matter within the black hole was crunched down before huge amounts of stored energy caused it to bounce back like a compressed spring, and that created our universe. Oh, okay. And so are we sure about this now? And this can't be challenged? Because the new theory is named the black hole universe, and it suggests that rather than the birth of the universe being from nothing, it's the continuation of a cosmic cycle. Well, then when did everything start? What was the beginning of everything? How did this cycle begin? Interesting. Mm-hmm. Fascinating. I've been hearing this kind of rumored for a while, and I thought it was a joke at first. Wait, we're living inside a black hole? Oh, okay. But they're actually proposing that now. There are serious scientists proposing this theory.
I always thought the science was settled, though.
Yeah, I thought so, too.
Pretty much everything.
Yeah, right. There's consensus on the Big Bang. There's consensus on global warming. There's consensus on all these things, and we're not supposed to ever question it. Huh. And now, all of a sudden, they're backing out of their own theory. Oh, okay. This is kind of interesting, too, and a little bit frightening. There's a super volcano near Naples, Italy. Have you been hearing about this? That's showing signs of eruption. It's the Phlegraean Fields supervolcano.
Uh-oh.
It's a large caldera system, not a single volcano, with a history of past eruptions and unrest. And some of the signs of activity are the ground beneath the Phlegraean Fields has been steadily rising, especially in the town of Pozzoli. There's volcanic gas being emitted. Increased emissions of CO2 have been detected from the crater. There are earthquake swarms, which is another really significant sign that an eruption might be imminent. So the seismic activity has increased, and that's been happening since December of 2022.
So this is different than what just went off the other day.
Yes.
Wow.
This is a super volcano.
Oh, boy.
Not just a normal volcano. It's one of those super, like the Yellowstone volcano is a super volcano.
Does it have a cape?
Yes,
Okay.
it does. It has a cape coming down from the caldera. So it's kind of cool.
That's how you know it's a super volcano.
It's got an SV on its chest.
What?
There's really no good place for a super volcano to go.
No, there's not. Because when it's a super volcano, that means global impact. That means everybody on the planet experiences.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, we wouldn't get the lava, obviously, but the eruption would be so huge and there'd be so much stuff in the atmosphere that you could get massive changes in weather patterns and all of that. And it could be like a nuclear winter. So something to keep an eye on. There's nothing you can do about it. I mean, there's no way we can prevent volcanic eruptions. And so I guess there are millions of people within the radius of this thing. So I don't know. Eventually they'd want to, if it's going to erupt, they want to evacuate those people.
So we can put a big cork right on the top and...
That probably won't do much, no.
Dang.
It'll blow the cork off.
It will?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Like a champagne bottle. So, probably even more so.
Probably get higher than Katy Perry did.
Fair.
That is fair. Yeah. I mean, hardly anybody's ever been as high as Katy Perry.
For 4 minutes?
For 4 minutes.
No.
Because she did cross the Kármán line, right? For 4 full minutes. So... It's like a firework.
How many songs do you think she's written about it since then?
None.
You know it'll be in a song.
Yeah, it will.
It's going to be in a song. There's going to be at least a line or something like,
I'm an astronaut.
I'll bet that's what she's written already. Yeah.
We're done. Good job.
Yeah, that was powerful. Chris. Good job. All right, we got another leftover from yesterday. We have Representative Rosa DeLauro.
Oh, yeah.
Who has been in office far too long. She was in office in Connecticut when I lived there. And she's still there today. And that was 30-some years ago. So it's time to go, hon. It's really time to go. So here she is talking to Pete Hegseth at one of their little get-togethers.
Challenges our department under the previous administration squandered a lot of that.
Please, I want your plan. I've had difficulties with
What
the
is the
prior
hairdo
administration,
deal?
and
What is the
I don't
deal?
mind calling him
Come
out.
on.
What is your plan for the future? Can we
Easy.
get that in writing and on paper so that
No.
we know where you're going? Because we don't have anything today. We have zip, nada, and knowing where you're going. You can talk percentages, you can talk about whatever you want, but unless this committee sees dollars and cents and where you're going and what your plan is, then we may reconsider what you need to do to go forward. Give us the details.
Congresswoman, we have the details and we will provide
Well, then
them
let's
for you.
have them before we, and my hope is that we could get to it before we go to a markup within a few hours here.
Relax. Okay. Got it. You're not happy.
It's the purple hair. You can't be happy when you've got purple hair. You can't. It's physically impossible. Scientifically impossible.
It's a rule, yes, scientific rule.
There's consensus on that. Look at that. When you've got purple and black hair and you're 80 years old.
82. Yep.
82. Sorry, no. It's impossible to make you happy.
First elected to Congress during the George H.W. Bush administration in 1990.
Gosh. Just despicable.
Get out. Just go.
Wow.
And they keep sending her back over and over and over and over. What is the matter with you?
What would she be doing if Rosa DeLauro was not in Congress? What would she be doing
She'd
with
be
her
a bag
time?
lady.
I think so.
I think so too.
I was thinking
She'd be a bag
pushing a
lady.
shopping cart
Yes. She'd
with
be
a
the
cat
Walmart
crawling
greeter.
around her.
A Walmart greeter.
Yep.
Or
Not
Walmart.
just a cat. She'd have like 17 cats.
She'd be the cat lady
all
of the
around her.
town.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Is there any question in
No
anybody's
questions
mind?
at all, Pat.
She'd be a bag lady with 17 cats.
You can ask this question of so many members of Congress. What would they be doing if they had to make it in the private sector? It would be there's a parallel universe out there where Rosa DeLauro is the bag lady in her town, and where Eric Swalwell.
There's a separate black hole with a universe
There you
in
go.
it, and in that universe, in that black hole, Rosa DeLauro's a bag lady.
Eric Swalwell is using all of his frequent flyer miles to go to China and back.
Right, because Fang Fang's still alive.
She's still alive, yes.
And they're still conducting their affair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Jerry Nadler. What would he be doing?
He'd still be pooping his pants.
Pooping his pants.
Yeah.
But, you know, probably.
He's doing IT work from the house.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a guy you call when you.
Jerry Nadler doing IT work?
I don't think so.
He's a guy that you call that. Hey, my internet's not working. Is it plugged in? No. Okay, there you go. Next caller.
I'm gonna have to escalate this call to
someone.
To Bob Menendez. Oh no, he's busy right now.
Oh yeah,
Sorry.
Bob's busy.
He's in Egypt,
and so is his wife. They're both busy. Darn it. Huh. Okay.
Oh well.
All right. Let me tell you about Pure Health, because we're not getting any younger. And if you want to look and feel your best, you need to check out Pure Health Research. They have 45 premium health supplements designed to help with every health goal you might have, whether that's boosting energy, trimming belly fat, supporting healthy blood sugar, pumping up your testosterone, or reducing swelling in your legs or your feet. Pure Health Research Supplement Store has you covered. Every formula is crafted with natural, non-GMO ingredients and backed by clinical research. Plus, it's manufactured right here in the U.S. And here's the best part. Pure Health Research is offering you an exclusive 35% discount right now. So just go to Pure Health Research, obviously one word, purehealthresearch.com. Use the promo code PAT at checkout. They have a 365-day money-back guarantee. That's a year to you and me. 1 full year. So there's no risk in trying this. Why wait? Go to purehealthresearch.com right now and explore their 45 amazing supplements. See if one of them's right for you. Save 35% before this deal ends when you use the coupon code PAT.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Was it on overtime the other day when we mentioned the Brazilian comic? I think that was overtime.
It was overtime, yes.
There was a comedian in Brazil who was just sentenced to 8 years in prison.
Too funny, right?
Because he was too funny. Yes, exactly. Actually, I think we have some of the jokes, and you be the judge.
Oh,
all right? You be
yeah.
the judge. 8 years for telling these jokes. This is amazing. I'm going to probably need the little specs for this particular segment.
Oh, yeah.
He started with a direct allusion in his stage routine. He started with an allusion to the video montage about his latest lawsuit. And he said, my previous show, Bullying Art, has been forbidden by 29 city halls. Pretty funny so far. I'm still dealing with court cases from that time. I got death threats. I was assaulted on the streets. Then I thought, it's time to stop with this show. To run a heavier one.
Wow.
Huh?
This guy's got
How funny is that?
jokes.
Okay. He's just getting warmed up, though.
Okay, yeah.
The routine continues with jokes on stereotypes about Brazil's different regions and their residents. Oh, no.
Oh, I bet these are good.
As well as similar takes on foreign countries. For example, because German is an ugly and aggressive language, the beginning of World War II was probably a misunderstanding. I see. Okay. Funny?
So you
bet.
This is why he's going to prison.
This is why he's going to prison.
Too much funny.
He then pivoted abruptly to joke about more serious topics, commenting on how everything sounds funny in Spanish. He says in Spanish, the words are un poquitito, un tiquiquito, un ratito. If anyone asks, what happened here? A rape.
What?
Wow, that's harsh. Okay, it's funny so far. That's... Wow.
That sounded like the opening of a Seinfeld episode right there.
Jeez.
What's the deal with the Spanish language?
So apparently then laughter follows.
Okay.
The audience apparently gets this, I guess. You know, maybe you have to speak Portuguese in order to understand this stuff. So they laugh, and alluding to the criminal cases he faces, he yells, "You are my partners in crime!" Because they laughed.
That's good stuff, man.
I'll call you to testify in court in my favor.
Okay, now I see why I went to jail.
This is hysterical.
Yeah, I don't,
he was too funny.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you got it right. He was just too dang funny.
I think it's the other way now. But continue, please. I'm sure I'm missing it. Must be lost in translation.
Despite all the controversial humor, which I really haven't heard quite yet, the comedian seems to be aware of which topics must be handled more carefully. He appears to consider Brazil's strict anti-racism laws, avoiding direct prejudicial jokes about black people. However, indirect comedy and commentary can be observed in the following excerpt. All right. There are too many people, he says, there are too many people living in Sao Paulo. There is traffic on the roads, on the sidewalks. You go for a walk and there are 18 people holding hands. That's why I didn't understand when that famous actress made a statement complaining, my child's skin color makes people cross the street. I thought, that's awesome. It's as if he was an ambulance. If I see her son, I'll just follow him and cut off the traffic. This is a gift. She could rent her son out. Or maybe use him to disperse people during the pandemic. I never walk away because of a black person, unless this person has a clipboard and is conducting a poll.
Okay, that's funny. That's funny. Except for the clipboard part.
Put him in jail for
the part before that was funny.
Well, the clipboard part is critical because he's conducting a poll, so you need the clipboard to fill out the results of the poll. The premise of the joke is to cynically feign ignorance about the underlying racism in a sad but common fact in Brazil. White people who cross the street because they may feel menaced by the presence of black citizens. So that was the subject of a complaint by the actress. Anyway, he took her statement literally, framing it as a sort of superhero story and thereby overlooking its deeper significance as a symptom of the structural racism ingrained in Brazilian society. And that's why the man is now in jail for 8 years. And frankly, I support that because these jokes are so bad. He shouldn't be. He shouldn't be on the streets of Brazil or anywhere else.
And he can use that downtime.
He's a menace.
He can use that downtime to write some more material.
So I watched this special.
Oh, you did?
I did. I had to read it.
Did you understand it?
No, because I put some subtitles.
You don't speak Portuguese.
I don't Portuguese, but I can just put subtitles and read what he's saying.
Yeah.
It was a sold-out event. There were 3,000 people.
Yeah, he's apparently really popular.
Of course it was. I mean, you heard the material. I mean,
right. Obviously, people are going to flock to that.
I laugh at some of the jokes.
You did laugh?
I did.
Really?
Especially that joke about the Spanish thing. He's right about that. Like, yes.
Like, un poquito is really funny.
Espiritu.
Yeah.
Well, because he goes back and saying, because he showed the little black book where he has all the jokes of his career.
Okay.
And then he said that people keep trying to say no to it because it's offensive. And he said that little book has heard more no's than a rapist.
What?
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. That's not funny. That's just, first of all, you don't want to joke about rape, right?
Oh, no.
That's taboo.
Yeah, it is
in
taboo.
any society.
In any society, yes.
It's just not funny. And even if you could joke about that, that's still not funny.
Right. Okay, you know what?
Still not funny.
8 years isn't long enough.
No.
This guy sucks.
He should be in prison.
Honestly.
The rest of his natural life.
Yes.
And even after he dies, you should keep his bones in prison.
Guilty. Wow. Don't let him take his joke book with him into the afterlife either, because
no, nobody wants to hear it.
Nobody. We want to make sure that you leave that here.
Yeah, but you did laugh, Chris. You did actually laugh out loud. Did you LOL?
Hang on a second.
I was a Rolf. I rolled on the floor laughing.
Hold on. We know Chris's sense of humor. I need to know this. Did your wife watch this comedy special with you?
No, she was not in the room.
Okay. Wow.
That's going to be the gauge.
Yeah.
Not Chris Cruz.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. No, it sounds like hilarity.
I will say, though, this kind of stuff is spreading. And
I know.
It could happen here eventually. I mean, we got into the point where, fortunately, Donald Trump has kind of put all that stuff on hold, at least, and maybe it'll be eliminated. But we were headed down a really dangerous path where you can't say certain things without, charges pending. Pretty amazing. All right, tell me about the AI babies. Is this where we finally break and we decide, all right, this has gone too far?
I don't know.
Or does this continue the
This is up
trend
to
of
you.
This is
actually
gonna be,
liking the AI
this is up to
babies
you.
thing?
This is Senator John Kennedy.
Okay.
And he has some words.
All right.
I've got a lot of friends who are Democrats, and they haven't asked me for advice, but if I did, I'd tell them, look, you just got to try harder not to suck. I mean, think about it. Over the past 4 years, the Democrats mismanaged Congress, they mismanaged COVID, they mismanaged the economy, they mismanaged inflation, they mismanaged the national debt, they mismanaged Afghanistan. The party is controlled right now by people who majored in online activism with a minor in puberty blockers. I know these people. They think women, they think men can breastfeed. They're triggered by race. They cry if you use the wrong pronoun. And most fair-minded Americans look at this and they go, these people are about 10 exits past normal. And that's what's killing the Democrats right now.
There you go. Mm-hmm. John Kennedy.
Okay.
Baby senator. He's got words for the Democrats.
Sure does.
So there
It's
you go.
always better as a baby.
I can
Isn't
agree
it?
with that. I will agree
It's
with
always
you.
better.
Yes.
I'd much rather see that whole spiel from a baby than the actual senator himself, even though I like it from Senator Kennedy.
We should do that with all
It's even
clips.
better. Yeah, we should.
We should.
Who is it that does this? Who is doing this all the
It's
time?
just different people, but the main one right now is Green Frog Labs, and
Green Frog Labs. Okay.
Are they going to write material for that Brazilian comedian? Because he could use some help.
He sure could.
Okay, so I've been working over here with Grok as Donald Trump as a flautist. As you can see. Look at that, huh? Look at that.
That's pretty good.
That's great.
There you go. There's Donald Trump playing the flute with his MAGA cap on.
You just did that while we were...
Yeah, I just gave some prompts to Grok, and
there
we are.
Right? Huh. That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
So I'd like to get him up on stage with Lizzo.
That'll be great.
Now, if you didn't know anything about that photo, and it was just flashed up on the screen when he was telling the story, would you might really believe that that was an actual photo of him.
Well, I mean, there were a
flute.
few photos I had to skip through where Trump had 3 hands.
Oh, really?
There was others.
So they still have the hand issue a little bit to a certain extent.
And if you look closely enough, I couldn't. It would never do "Make America Great" or MAGA very clearly. Say that.
This is Macau. Macau.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
It's still trying.
Yeah. That's a little bit off.
Trying harder than comedians in Brazil.
Off. Effort harder. AI.
Thank you.
All right. Got overtime coming up. See you back here. Jeff will join us. Finish off the week tomorrow.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.